So far we have covered complete dominance, incomplete dominance, and we are now going to look at something called codominance. Remember, there are really 4 types of inheritances we are looking at, and the last one is sex-linked traits. Now, the pedigree kind of covers all 4, so pedigree is a little bit different. So really, these are the 4 types of inheritance. Let's take a look at the question for codominance, and if you're confused about where the other ones are covered, look in the lower right below. I will post a link to all the other videos for the other types. Okay, right now we're looking at codominance, and here's the question. Some cattle, the genes for brown hair are B and white hair is W. Notice they're both capitalized, and that means they're both codominant. That's how we write codominance, capital letter. Cattle with alleles for both colors have brown and white spots are referred to as roans. So it's not quite a blend. They both have it in this case. So what they want now is give a Punnett square and the genotypic and phenotypic ratios for a cross between a roan cow. Let's just underline it. Here's the parents. Very important step. Roan cow and a white bull. Those are your parents. So step 1 is to create a little key for ourselves. So that's step, actually 0 is what I call it, step setup. Okay, we have a brown hair, and the brown hair will be homozygous for B. Remember, it's not dominant or recessive anymore because they work together. It's co, so we're going to say homozygous for B. Homozygous. And then the heterozygous is going to be 2 different alleles of that gene. It doesn't matter what alleles, as long as they're different. You have a heterozygous because hetero means different. Zygous, by the way, means from the father and mother. For example, a zygote is what a cell is when a sperm meets an egg. It's called a zygote, and it eventually becomes a baby, right? Zygote means from mother and father. Hetero means different. So they're going to get 2 different alleles, one from the mother, one from the father. So heterozygous. Homozygous means one from the male, one from the female, and in this case it'll be the same, so BB. So that's how those words work. And the last one's going to be homozygous again, but for a different allele. Homozygous, and this is for WW. So the same allele, one from mom, one from dad. Zygous means mom and dad. So let's write the phenotypes. This is the genotypes. Genotypes, this is the physical trait, phenotypes. And this is brown. This is, we call roan, and this is white. Now the key is, what does roan mean? Roan does not mean a blend. That's what incomplete dominance is. Codominance means they exist together, almost like you're going to have brown and white, almost like a spotted situation, right? So it's going to be kind of like, this is the fur color. It's going to be a little brown and white and brown and white and brown. So it's like spotted, there's no blending, and we're going to call that roan, which is black and white, not blended. Okay, so there's our key right there. We have our genotypes, we have our phenotypes, and for practice we have written what we call the genotypes. Homozygous for B, heterozygous meaning different alleles, and homozygous. So we're really set up now. Okay, step 1 is going to be where we find the parents. Okay, and that's the cross. The parental cross is probably the most important step, and we want to really take a look at these 2 words. So roan cow and a white bull. Here is your roan, here is your white bull. Let's circle this phenotype. Let's put a dot by this phenotype and an asterisk by this phenotype. So we're going to cross the roan and the white bull. Okay, so that's BW and WW. All right. Second part is the Punnett square, and you just draw a square, right? And put the genotypes in. Now I just dropped this one down. It could go here too, but I like to just drop it down there, and this one's going to go here. It does not matter where you put them; it's going to end up the same. You want to be consistent how you write them. We're always going to put the B first and then the W. That's how we'll do it if there's an option. Like in this, I could put the B second, right? But we're going to put it first so we don't get confused, and that's the way you really always want to do it. You want to have a way. You usually put this one first, and this one's second, depending on the cross. And this is W, W. So I'm just bringing these in. Okay, so now let's label the phenotypes. Do we have any brown, any BB? I see none, so we're not going to circle any. Do we have any heterozygotes, which is the roan, black and white? Do we have any black and white? Yes, I see one here, so I'm putting a dot, because that's what we're going to use, the dot. And one here. Okay? And then do we have any white, WW? And I see two, we're going to put the asterisks. So now we've got the genotypes and we've labeled the phenotypes. Let's go to step 3, where we actually write out the genotypic ratio and percent, and phenotypic ratio, and usually you do the percent as well. Okay, so we want to write all of what are possible. This is, and we already kind of did a key, so we kind of already know, right? Then we just count, and it's pretty easy because we've already done it, kind of. There's no BBs, so we put 0. BW, we have 2, 1, 2, and WW, we have 2, 1, 2. And then you just do a percent. So out of the 4, this is 50% BW and 50% WW. Now we're going to do the phenotype, and that's the physical trait. And there's 3 possibilities: brown, roan, and white. Right? So let's count the brown. And remember, we're going to this is circled, this is a dot, and this is asterisk. Okay, so I see nothing circled. I see no brown, no BB, no brown. I see 2 dots. This is roan, so we have 2. And white, I see 2 here. So now let's find the percent. This is 0. So 50% roan, 50% white. What does the actual question ask? Oh, it just asks for the ratios. Step 4 is probably the most important step, and that's the check going backwards. Don't go the same route you came, because you won't catch any mistakes. Let's just make sure we counted correctly. Do we have 2 roans? 2 dots? I see 2 dots. Do we have 2 white? 2 asterisks? I see 2. So we got that correct. Do we have 2 BWs? Yep. Do we have 2 whites? Yes. So we've counted correctly. That's first step. Okay, let's check the Punnett square. Did we put the asterisks and the dots in correctly? Asterisk should be WW, correct. And the dot should be BW, correct. Okay? So we've checked that we got the right phenotypes. Now let's check the genotypes. And then we did that by bringing the B over and the W's down. In this case, we brought the W over and the W down. Did we do it correctly? I see we did it correctly. So we've done the Punnett square correctly. And the last step, and the most important, did we get the parents correctly? Are these correctly? And the way you do this is you first describe the parents in your own words. Don't look at the question. BW would be a roan. We know that from our key. We are crossing a roan, black and white, with a white, right? WW. And is that what the question asks? Let's take a look. They want a roan and a white bull. That's exactly what we had, so we know we are correct. So those are the steps you want to take, and until you get really good, you want to do all of those steps and write out your work, and then eventually you won't have to write everything. It'll be very quickly, and you'll want to be at that point by the time we get to pedigrees, because you're going to have to do a lot really quick. Okay, hope that helps.